Welcome to the Earth Tones Presets walkthrough video. We're going to be editing a couple of images to showcase what you can expect to find in this pack. We'll be doing quick edits and making only basic corrections to keep the focus of this on just illustrating the various looks in this edition. Let's dive in. Alright, let's start with this image of this orangutan. And I'm just going to start and go through the pack and just have a look at the various presets and how they affect our image. And because we really have two main colors in this image, the greens and the oranges, so I'm really just looking for something that's going to accentuate both of those colors. And so far, I think most of these can actually work. I'm really liking number 10, number 6, but I think let's go for number 1. I would probably just bring down my highlights, and I wouldn't do much else. I'm actually really liking what that's done to the image. We've turned those greens into sort of bluey, minty sort of greens, and I'm really happy with that image. I don't think we need much else, and this is a fantastic example of when presets can sort of just work out of the box. So I'm really happy with that. Let's move on to something else. Okay, let's try one of these surfing shots. Now again, I'm just going to go through the various looks, and I'm going to pay attention to how it's affecting our water, because those bluey greens are really making up the majority of this picture. And already I can tell a lot of these can work. But I think I want something more on the blue side, so I'm going to go for 8. I'm really liking those sort of deep, dark and rich blues. But I think it's a little too blue, so I'm just going to tone down the blues, and I can do that in the HSL. And I could probably pull down this aqua slider or even the blue slider, but the aqua is further up. So yeah, I'm going to dial it back quite a bit. And I think that's just a little bit more balanced. I'm going to give it a crop. And already I'm loving what this has done to the image. And in my opinion, that looks really nice and just a bit more dramatic and adding a bit more vibrance to that blue. Really happy with that. All right, moving on. Now, I think I already know with this photograph that I want to try either 8 or 9. Let's go for 9. And 9 is a sort of a take on teal and orange, which I think in this instance works very, very nicely and doesn't need any further editing. I think the skin tones look nice and natural, and just the overall tones of the image are very appealing to me, and I'm very, very happy with that. In fact, I think we have another photograph from this same day. Yes, we do. And if I check on number 9 again, I think I'm really liking that image. All right, let's try a different photograph, maybe something with an animal. Now we've got the greens and the yellows, and I really want to make that cheetah stand out against the background. And I think number 8, wow. I think that already looks so fantastic. That's a case of not having to do much. But for the sake of the walkthrough, let's find something that maybe could use a little bit of tweaking. And I think number 11 also looks really nice, but I'm liking number 10 as well. So let's go with number 10. I like what that's done to our image, but it does need a bit of work. Now in this case, it looks a little bit underexposed. So I'm just going to bring up our exposure to about there. Maybe a little bit more on the shadows. And lastly, I think it's a little bit on the cool side, so I'm going to warm up the image just a little bit. And there we have it. I'm really liking this. I think that's brought that image to life. And this is a great example of a preset that just needs a little bit of tweaking to get right. And I'm going to edit the last remaining photos in Lightroom Mobile because we've developed presets that work both on desktop and on mobile. So I'm just going to switch over and show you how that works. All right, and let's jump into Lightroom Mobile. Here we are in Lightroom Mobile. So I'm just going to pick a photo. How about this one? We have a human subject. I really like this shot. And let's scroll across to presets, and here we have our presets which have been preloaded. You do have to preload them, but it's super easy. We have an instructional PDF that will walk you through the process. So let's begin again just by going through the various looks. I know I want something warm, something vibrant, because it's a warm day and I really want to emphasize that. Now I'm actually really liking 6, but in my opinion I think it might be a little bit too warm. So let's fix that. So let's go across to the color. And I'm just going to play with the temperature slider, and I'm just going to want to cool it down. And let's see by how much. That's probably too much. Something around there I feel is already so much better. And then I think I want to raise the shadows a bit more. And I think I can actually push those quite a bit. Oh, that's looking really nice. And then the last thing I want to do now, because I'm working with a human subject, I just want to make sure that the skin tones are as natural looking as possible. So I'm going to jump to color, to mix. And our skin tones in this instance are going to live in this orange range here. And I'm just going to drag this hue slider just till it starts feeling natural. Now, if I go towards the right, they start going towards the green side, and to the left, sort of more pink. So I just want to find something that's going to work for us. Something just that feels natural. And I think already I'm getting very close. That's it. And I'm really happy with that. Let's look at it before and after. Look at that. It's exactly what I was after. Something rich, something warm and vibrant. And I would be happy to send that off to the client. I think that's a professional looking grade. And what's great is I just did that straight off my phone. All right, let's go to another one. Let's keep it in the same series. Let's go for this one. We have our model walking in front of the volcano. And I'm just going to go to the presets again. This time, let's try something a little bit more out there, a bit more stylized. Let's have a look. Maybe, actually, let's go for something like 13. 13, we have that sort of muted green look, and I really like that because it's making our subject stand out, and I think it's quite impactful. I think the only thing is the skin tones. I think maybe they are a little bit too saturated, so again, I'm just going to go to color, mix, and again in those oranges, and I'm just going to pull down that saturation just to something that's a little less intense. I think that's looking real nice. Let's go back, and if we look at it before and after, that's a super impactful grade, I think. I'm really happy with that. And I think I can actually throw that straight onto Instagram off my phone. Cool, I think that just about wraps it up.